as long as it has.
Jackie Dean.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The Juries, Jury Service and Protection of Particulars of Jury List Information Amendment Bill does improve the jury system's administration and also helps maintain jurors' privacy, safety and security. And unlike the previous speaker, I regard those aims as being particularly important and would note that this bill does deliver on those aims. Firstly, I want to thank members of the Law and Order Committee who worked on this bill in a very collegial manner. It is a feature of the Law and Order Committee where we tend to focus on the substance of debate, having got procedure pretty well tied down. And so we do have our differences within the committee, of course we do, but I just want to thank all members for their good work on this bill, also to recognise the work of officials who assisted us on this bill. So this bill follows measures which were rolled out in 2010 to make life easier for jurors. I can see it's getting awfully late for some of those junior members across the House, but never mind. It's almost home time for the young and the infirm. It's all right. If it's getting too much for those who are getting on in years, perhaps a bit of early onset, perhaps.
Order.
Well, never mind. We'll get on with the bill. It'll be over pretty soon. Mr Speaker, so there are three main provisions in this bill: preventing certain people sentenced to home detention to serve on the jury and other matters, empowering registrars to permanently excuse people over the age of 65 from jury duty, and I want to pick up on that point in a minute, and also to protect jurors' particulars. First of all, I will pick up on that point. So currently, the jury list must contain the name, the occupation, the date of birth and full address of potential jurors. And since 2008, self-represented defendants, so those people that are representing themselves, have been prohibited from keeping a copy of the jury list or taking notes of the contents of the jury lists, but they could still inspect it under supervision, so they could still see it. So the changes that were made in 2008 were designed to protect the privacy of jurors, but there was a particular case, a particular incident, which highlighted the need to further restrict access to that information. There was a convicted murderer who wrote to a juror and caused considerable distress to that juror, whose name he saw on a list while representing himself in a trial. And so this bill removes the address of potential jurors from jury lists. It allows the prosecution, it allows the defence lawyer, the court-appointed advisor to defendants representing themselves to have access to all the address information on request, but it does restrict the information on that list ever being seen by the accused. The bill extends section 14A6 of the Juries Act, which makes it clear also, and this is another provision brought in at the Select Committee stage, that misconduct in relation to jury lists may be treated as contempt of court. A further aspect of this bill prevents certain people sentenced to home detention from serving on a jury. Now, this closes a loophole which was discovered in the Sentencing Amendment Act, which created home detention as a sentence in its own right, but it failed to amend the Juries Act. Thirdly, this bill gives registrars the power to grant a person permanent excusal from serving on a jury on the grounds of age, disability or chronic health problems. Now, it seems to have escaped the opposition that this is something which is acknowledging people over the age of 65 who might, for whatever reason, find it difficult, or maybe they simply do not wish to serve on a jury anymore. Sorry, what was that?
What did your leader say about older people during the campaign?
This provision, you see, it seems to have escaped the opposition that this is the age of 65 who may have a disability which may wish members of the opposition would give some consideration solution to people who have a letter in the mail from the court registrar requiring them to serve on a jury and process, have to front up to the registrar or phone them or write them a letter and do not wish to serve on the jury. Now, this bill does a very good thing because its sparing to people over this age of 65 is completely beyond me, but that is a matter for them.
It's set down for further consideration next sitting day, and the House will stand adjourned.